Hey guys, my name's Troy Hoffman. I'm the founder of Simplurus and the founder of Balancegenics and an executive mentor. What we do every week here is we're creating these things called Fireside chats. We basically transform this entire space into a studio every week. 4, 3. In the house today we've got Walt Tomolina. Today in the studio we have Ty Cannon. He's also one of the top anti-aging doctors in the country and probably even in the world. And what I want you to see is the opportunity to be exposed to all these different entrepreneurs, all these different people that can share their wisdom and insights, because one idea can change your life today.
They want to be part of the outcome, but they don't necessarily want to be part of the process because it's scary. And if they hear you say collision and they're afraid of conflict, I gotta go to the restroom, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here, yes, they've done that.
I realized there's over 27 different hormones and hormone metabolites that exert a tremendous effect on your body, your mind, your performance, and whether you live or die.
You can actually like apply something to that.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll put like a sense of urgency on their site. You know, it's like, you know, they'll have a countdown clock and like you have until this time to get it. Yeah. Well, that's actually that's what we call a mental trigger, right? Is this scarcity, like time is running out or there's only so many available left. You have to act now if you want to take advantage of it.
Yes.
You know, they have these little fragments, but it's not as effective when they're all being used in harmony, right? All these different NLP techniques and mental triggers that you can really kind of bring in.
One new concept, one new thing you can take back to your workplace, one new thing you can take back to your company, one new thing you can take back to your family to change the way you think and see and change everything about what you're doing and the actions you're going to take. All right, folks, welcome back to the Fireside Chats. Today we have Ryan Phelps in the house. We just met recently. We did these actually a program together with Cal State Fullerton, their MBA program, their entrepreneur program, and marketing. And one of the guys that runs their marketing, he's a teacher for marketing and entrepreneurship at Cal State Fullerton. He introduced us yesterday, and we facilitated a group of people, and I had the opportunity of actually hearing him talk about what he does and coaching a bunch of young entrepreneurs on how to build and scale and market their companies. So, and as I'm sitting back, a lot of people you meet, you hear people that are like hype people that sell people stuff at a really high cost, and it's ridiculous what you're paying for, and it's not like the person actually doing the work anymore. They're selling their stuff or their courses or something like that. But when Ryan was speaking, he actually the guy that's actually doing the work himself right now, and you can hear the languaging and what he's doing and what he's working on, and he's trying to build his business right now and build his brand and actually get more clients and doing more of the work. He focuses on taking NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and applying it to your website, applying it to your copy. He's actually the guy actually doing the work with people right now, which is a rarity in these nowadays. Everyone and their mother thinks they're the guru of marketing. We get hit up on Instagram all the time. Like at first I was like, okay, let's talk to these people. Now it's so much like we have someone else that literally goes through a series of questions. If you can't answer my questions, you don't even get around to pass two. And like because we understand marketing so well now but like everybody and their mother thinks they've taken the Ty Lopez course and they know how to build a marketing company or they know how to build an online agency. And so many people are just full of crap. Like literally waste time, waste your money, don't know how to do ads, don't know how to write copy, don't know how to get results. And so I was really fascinated hearing what you've experienced and what you've learned and how you've learned it and how you're really diving in deep yourself to really get real results with people. And I think I'd love to hear like what are you actually working on like right now so we can like that they're really getting results, and what are some of the coolest results you're actually getting? We'll start there on results, what you're doing now, then we might go back and how you even got there and how you're learning to keep track of this stuff, and like so we can kind of teach the audience like what are you doing. And you have your own business now right now.
I do, yeah.
And you branded it after you because Scott said that he liked your name, RP.
right
RP Ventures or something.
RP Marketing Consultant.
RP Marketing Consultant. I love it. So and he's like, that's good marketing, RP, right? And so what are you doing now? Explain how it all works to the high level, then we'll dive deep into some of the real results you're actually getting with people right now. So
right. Well, so a lot of when I started.
This is your camera. You can look right into that camera.
Right, perfect.
This is a wide angle shot of us, by the way. So
all right, good to know.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I do was Ultimately, what I wanted to do was help not just generate leads, but generate clients.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many marketing agencies and coaching programs out there that are all about, oh, we're gonna get your phone ringing off the hook. You know, we're gonna get your inbox just flowing, and we're gonna get all these people coming to you. But the problem is, people are expert in what they do.
Yeah.
Right? They have this expertise that they know what they want to do, and that's what they want to do. They don't want to market and try to close leads, but it's essential, right? Obviously for any business. And so really my focus is I don't want to just generate leads because that still leaves them trying to figure out how do I close these people. I want to go further down the funnel, right? And actually help generate clients rather than just leads.
Yeah.
And so there's one of my clients right now, they were needing to do a merchandise push. And so one thing I wanted to do, I was like, all right, well, you know, let's do email, right? You have this list. Let's find a way. Can we get them engaged and get them moving? And it was a cold list. And we all know the joy of trying to generate leads and clients from a cold email list. And I was like, well, let's have a little fun with it. Let's make it entertaining as well as leading them to where we want them to go.
Yeah.
And so I ended up writing a funny poem.
Yeah.
I figured just an email with a funny little poem, and let's just add a link.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting tremendous success from it.
So what was, like, out of curiosity, so you get a link, what's the email address, where is it coming from first? Like, if I don't know the email address, I'm like, delete. Then I look at the tagline, whatever that is, that pops up my email, I'm like, either like deep, swipe. Like, what was the tagline, the first, regarding da-da-da-da?
Yeah, I think we did a little poem for you was the subject line.
Got it.
Right, a little poem for you. It's different. It's unique. It's a little poem, and people out of just curiosity. You know, I mean, usually you want to convey value and everything else in that subject line, but even just curiosity. I mean, it killed the cat, right? Like people will want to know, and so you want to have something that's really going to kind of.
But they click through a link.
Right. Yeah. So the link.
How did you get them to click on the link, especially with people? There's so many hackers lately that when you click on links, it opens up bad stuff on your phone, opens up bad stuff on your computer system at work. Like, how do you get them to click on links when they don't trust the source, or how do you get them to be a trusted source for email marketing?
So this, and I know this is, a lot of people will disagree with this, but the raw link. Because when you put like a click here to, you know, get access or whatever, and you're like, well, I don't know, what is this? You know, people have that fear, right, of scams and everything else. And so I just put in the raw link, because then when they actually see, and the name of the company is generally somewhere in that URL parameter, then they're more like, okay, so that's more of a trusted source because I actually see the link. Yeah. And so as long as it's not this crazy long, you know, 20 lines.
Go to Simplerist.com, Balancegenics.com.
Right.
By class action settlement administration here, by supplements here, adrenal support supplements here. Like,
and even with the subpage title, you know, they're gonna trust it a little bit more.
Interesting. So what are some other things you've been doing to get results lately? Like some other cool, interesting stories, like, because I mean, yesterday we're nailing like a bunch of things. So like, what are some other cool results? Like, you started here, they were making $10 a day, then they made $100 a day because they worked with you, type of stories. Like, what are those things that have been happening and why?
Yeah, well, so right now I have a client who's a youth sports league, and they're one of the largest on the West Coast, and they have like an off-season league, and so they were trying to increase registrations. They really kind of want to grow this section, and so I was like, all right, well, we already have this nice list of people we can cultivate from, but there's also this whole cold audience that we know is out there and available, and so we had a little bit of a budget. I'm like, all right, well, let's do some retargeting. You know, retargeting is the most effective marketing strategy there is out there right now. How can we harness it without breaking the bank?
Correct.
And so what we did is we ended up running just a cold Facebook ad.
Yeah.
Right. We got our demographics. We kind of figured out what our messaging is. You know, we did some split testing, having two, you know, similar but change out just one variable. And then from all of those clicks that we got, then we retargeted with a different message that supported and added more value to the original one. Within 1 week, on a small budget, we got 70 new registrations.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And so it's like, all right, so this is a start. So now we're able to scale, right? Because you don't want to go big right off the bat. You want to start small, get your right message, optimize it as best you can. And once the numbers are working, then you grow.
And this is what you love doing.
Oh, absolutely.
You love this.
Oh yeah.
Like I saw you yesterday. Like you love this. Like hear you talking. Like, dude, I'm tapping out of this conversation. I do not know how to be here. Like this is not my expertise. I don't want to dive into this. Like I was like, you go for it. Like, are you all in? Like that's where you like assemble the people that love different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's amazing. So what I'd like to dive in next, folks, is how he actually gets these people to see something in their minds and say, I'm going to decide to take action, right? Because sometimes one of our best things that we can do is actually help people and guide people to do the things they need to do to improve their lives. Like you might know something, you might have a product or service that might impact people's lives, but we don't know how to get them to buy our products or buy our services that would actually change their lives. A massage therapist or a realtor that's one of the better realtors, but their marketing is as a guy down the road who's like not really a great realtor, but he has amazing marketing. And we see this all the time. There's people out there, and you're one of those people today watching this that you're actually amazing at what you do. You've got a lot of things going, but the guy down the street or the lady down the road has a better marketing program than you, and they're the ones getting all the business. Like there's a ton of people out there that are crappy marketers. They are fakes, they are phonies, and yet they're selling high quality courses that are high dollars, and to get people to show up, and that ain't even great. Like there was this girl yesterday from Cal State Fullerton program that actually showed up to this mastermind. She spent a lot of money in a lot of high-end real estate masterminds at $25,000 a click sometimes. And she said the program we had here yesterday was more powerful than she went to other things. It was authentic, it was real information, it was quality information from people that actually lived it instead of some hype masterminds which people are selling all over the place who really don't know a lot and just regurgitating information. So what I'd love for you today is now talk about how are you getting these results. First, how did you learn it? And then what are the specific things you're actually doing in the process? Like we want to know your secrets, like the quote unquote, because there's no secrets. Catch this, guys, there's no secrets, only stuff that we don't know yet and we haven't experienced because we haven't done the work yet. So
absolutely.
This is your camera, and like I'd love for you to share, like to the wide camera, just tell us like, how did you learn all this? And then what are you doing?
Yeah, well, so I moved out here from Hawaii to Southern California. I know, everyone's wondering, why'd you leave Hawaii? But I came here to go to college, and it was funny because actually in my first years of business school, I had this bad experience with some marketing companies that were just, I mean, they were high pressure sales, just, oh, you absolutely need this and you need that. And I told myself, I am never going to be in marketing. and it wasn't until the end of my college career, I had an unbelievable professor, Scott Sorrell. I was one of his first students, and he really showed me what marketing was, right? And it's connecting with people. It's connecting with your ideal prospect. And so from that point, I knew marketing is what I want to go into. So I spent the next 6 to 7 months going to all these conventions and seminars and masterminds and trying to learn from
I'm going to pull up your webpage too while you're talking. Keep going.
Okay.
I want to find that.
Yeah, and so I was learning from just these incredible marketing and sales minds and really trying to just get this download of information and how I can use that to help other people.
Because I saw the site that you did, the 40 and 180.
Yeah.
Right? And I like how you actually applied all those principles into one actual website.
Yes.
And then like, so when you were going through this, and that's why I'm like, we're actually here doing this, because it's like, oh wow, this is like, it wasn't like the most beautiful website. It wasn't the video content. It wasn't the storytelling sometimes we see or some of the cool graphics and the user thing, but it was like the languaging, the colors, like. And so when you're working for these other companies, what else were you picking up of like that were actually doing right? And what did you pick up that they were doing wrong, out of curiosity?
Right. Well, a lot of times what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, they just don't know. It's usually it's by happenstance, right? But some of the things that they do right is they'll put like a sense of urgency on their site. It's like, they'll have a countdown clock of like, you have until this time to get it. And the only reason they know is that, they probably heard somewhere of someone saying like, oh yeah, you need to put a timeline on it. Well, that's actually that's what we call a mental trigger, right? Is this scarcity, like time is running out, or there's only so many available left. You have to act now if you want to take advantage of it.
Yes.
And so that's something that some people will do right. They have these little fragments, but it's not as effective when they're all being used in harmony. right? All these different NLP techniques and mental triggers that you can really kind of bring in. A lot of things that people will do wrong is they focus so much on the graphics that they lack content. They lack actually conveying value for what, you know, the value of their actual product. And so they put so much time, money, energy into making it look nice and aesthetically pleasing, but they're missing out on the core of what's actually going to connect with the ideal prospect and actually turn them into a client.
So what are some of these NLP techniques that you're applying today? If you want to give us like a little like snapshot of what are these NLP techniques that you're applying to these websites to actually help move these companies forward, so people like, hey, take notice, like, we're great people, we have a great product, we have a great service, we can help change your life, but to get their message out, like, what are these quote unquote secrets right now, like, you know what I mean? So
well, the key focus of any business, of any kind, no matter what product, service, industry, is connecting with your audience. Because if you can't connect with them or understand where they're at, how could you possibly have a solution for what their problem is? And so one of the first things you want to do on any website, landing page, advertising that you're running is, how do you connect? How do you build that rapport with your ideal prospect? So put yourself in their shoes. What is their biggest pain point? What's their struggle? You know, and then once you have that rapport and you know where they're at and you can connect with it, you then talk about your solution and how, not just what it is technically, but how did you feel when that solution was done?
What was Scott's teaching on how to build rapport? Why is rapport important? Like, what was Scott sharing yesterday about rapport? They made everyone go, yes, we know how to build rapport. We know what rapport is now. What was Scott Sorrell saying yesterday about rapport?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, I remember he was even sharing how he closed a deal on rapport alone. Like, it wasn't even about the product or the solution, right? It was just connecting with someone, finding common ground. If you can find common ground and have that human connection, you've already built trust and likability and all these other things that are needed to where they're just like, okay, I want to do business with you, no matter what, just because of who you are, not even just what your product is or your service.
I love it. I love it. Scott's elite. So you get a chance to look up Scott Sorrell, Mr. Charge Higher Prices. I just Google him too. We've had him on the show here before. He's awesome. So he's our mutual buddy. So keep going with the secrets.
Yeah, absolutely. So once you've built that rapport, you know what their struggle is. Again, it's shifting to having them visualize, have them imagine, see this picture of what they feel and what they see when that solution or that problem has been resolved. Right. And so, because I work with a lot of companies that are struggling. Right. They have an amazing product.
So I want you to go deep into this right now. Say that all again. What is it again?
So it's about having them feel and see what it will be like when that problem is resolved.
Having them feel, right?
Yep.
And see.
Yep.
And feel like and believe what it's going to be like when that problem is solved. And do you go through a process with like the product you're marketing or the people you're marketing to help them really articulate, like, what problem are they solving for somebody that no one else is? And how do you do it for like companies that are like everyone sells bricks. Like a brick manufacturer is the same as every other brick manufacturer.
Right.
You know, like the bricks we're actually sitting on today, the story of these bricks, I actually heard the story of those bricks, right? This is actually a famous old school company. This happened to be one of the companies that blew up a long time ago. And because the brick manufacturer wanted an edge, he bought the name of the old school brick manufacturer that makes these red bricks to be able to market his product, to say his bricks are good, because they became, in Southern California, they became known as good red bricks. Just because they were the biggest company and people knew, and they see the name imprinted on the bricks randomly all over the place. And I was like, really? I didn't know that would make a big deal. I mean, red bricks are red bricks to me, but like for some reason, some people remember that name. Like, what are you doing to help people create differentiators where there's really no differentiation in products anymore? I mean, something like you can buy, like I can buy this plastic cup or this mug, if they all look the same, they're all the same to me.
Right.
So how are you helping them go through this discovery process to say, you know?
Well, so we get into what's called the thought zone of their prospect, or of what an ideal client would look like. Because, you know, at any given time, there's only a certain number of things that will be on the top of their mind, you know? So we always ask, what is keeping your audience up at night? What is the one key thing that they just go to bed going, oh, how am I going to increase revenue for my business? Or how am I going to increase the scale of making these red bricks? And so there's going to be certain things that's just going to be on the forefront of their mind of how do I solve this problem? So we try to identify what is that thought zone, what's in their thought zone that's keeping them up at night, and how is that solution going to solve it? How and why is it going to solve it? And so from there, you're already putting yourself in the shoes of your consumer. And so from there, that's how we already, right off the bat, we know how to build rapport. Okay, we know what's keeping them up at night. We know how we can connect with them on a deeper level. But then also the solution, we know how it's going to resolve, and how great are they going to feel when that thing that's been keeping them up at night is now gone and they can sleep peacefully. Right? And so we go through that process. And so because that is the deepest, most impactful thing you can do, is to connect.
So what happens after that? You discover what the message is going to be, then what's next? Like, what's happening this series of events to get this final result of more people buying from you?
So now is when we start to figure out, okay, now that we know the customer, how we can connect with them, what's the solution? Now, where do we find them? Right? And so this is where you start to identify, okay, what are the different marketing channels where we're going to be able to better target and define our audience, but also making sure that there's enough of them to where it makes sense.
And then how are you applying NLP for the copy, for the colors, for all these different things?
Right. So that's one of my favorite things is actually finding. I'm just gonna dive in.
Go. Just go for it.
So even just colors on a website, or the colors of a brand, make a massive difference. We talk about color psychology. Some people have heard of that. Some people I have no idea what that means. But we've all have had this programming. So even when you're driving down the street, if you see red, the first thing you think is stop. And because we deal with it every day, multiple times a day. When you're going through a website, let's say you're just skimming a website, if you see something that's, that's big, bold, and red, chances are you're going to stop. When you're skimming down a page, you see red, you're going to stop. And when you see green, you're probably just going to blow right by it. And so there's so many things that you can do as far as what's on your landing page, that's on your website. Where do you want to draw their attention?
Got it.
I remember a colleague of mine, he did a test. He had 2 landing pages completely identical, same content, same layout, same everything. But over the opt-in box where we wanted to get their information, he put a big fat red arrow pointing down to the opt-in box. And so he ran them side by side, same number of traffic, got a 12% increase in opt-ins just because of one little arrow.
I love tweaks. Love tweaks. I've heard crazy stories of tweaks. We were at traffic and conversion, and just hearing these crazy tweaks, like people were just talking about exact same marketing, exact same ads, little tiny tweaks, and like the results were like again, 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 different percent like marketing, like one color change between one page versus another. It's amazing. So keep going.
So and it's so important to keep in mind that you don't want to basically relate maybe your company or brand with a color that's going to be more aggressive, right, or angry. It's like a bright red. And some businesses do it, and they've found a way to work with it. But why add more resistance to what you're doing? That's why you see a lot of banks have blue. Have blue colors, because blue invokes kind of that trust, that comfort. Chase Bank, and when you think of blue and big companies,
why Wells Fargo's having struggled, they have a little bit too much red in there. Wells Fargo's struggling, they have too much red. That's why.
Exactly.
I think so.
Bank of America, one of the most hated companies, right?
Yes. So.
Not blaming the color on that, but it certainly doesn't help. And so just be very aware when you're building your websites and your pages. Where do you want to draw their attention? So one thing you never want to do is have a big button that has them move forward to be red.
Correct.
Right, because it means stop. So immediately they're going to
stop and change your life now, or something.
Right.
You've hit this, like to stop all the problems in your life. Click here. Would that work? If I hit a big red button, maybe.
If you got the right message.
To stop smoking now, click this button. Maybe that might work, right?
Yeah, that might work.
Okay. Just want to try it.
But you'll see a lot of buttons online that are blue or green. Right, because it's go. It's yes.
Yes.
It's moving forward. You know, and if you can convey the right value, it's going to be so much easier to click on that nice green button.
Yeah.
You know, and these are all just little things that you can add and implement to help ease that transition and move them forward further down the funnel.
So what is it that made you really understand it? Like, how did you learn this? What was your background? Who were your mentors? And how many years or months or books or whatever made you get this stuff to be able to use it, to apply it, and how much time did it all take to really get to this point? Time, hours, you know, they always talk about 10,000 hours being an expert. Like, where are you at in this whole matrix, out of curiosity?
Well, so, you know, early on in my marketing career, like I said, I traveled around. I went.
How long ago was
found
this?
The best. This was about 3.5 years ago.
Got it. Okay.
I went and traveled around and learned.
I love
from
you
the
internet
best.
people. Like, early on in my career, 3.5 years ago, like it was like decades ago, and I swear all you internet marketers are the same. Like, man, 5 whole years ago I got in this world, and it was a struggle way back
in my
then.
day.
We did not even have retargeting dialed in like we do today. Like, that was, you know what I mean? Like, I love
Marketing
internet
moves at
marketing.
miles a minute, man.
I mean, it really does.
1,000 miles a
Like,
minute.
what happened last month is totally gone, and the new technologies and stuff is rolling out. It's like brand new companies every 3 months popping up. They're just blowing up. And so keep going.
Yep.
I love you guys.
So I went and I tried to learn from the best in the industry, but I tried to go beyond just their packages, right? And so I was very lucky to be able to find some incredible mentors that are some of the best in the business, but had these real heart-to-heart kind of conversations about, you know, and what they're trying, right? Because marketing is this never-ending evolution of strategies and experimentation and optimization. And so I really just dove in.
You have to be like a tinker,
learned.
like constantly, like, don't you? I mean, you really, there's really no, and everyone says that, there's really no one right answer ever almost. Nope. You've just got to try it. Yeah. I've heard that from hundreds of guys that are at the top of their game, and even guys that are some of the top marketers selling at the top level. They're all like, oh, you just got to try it. You got to push some stuff and see what works.
Yeah, you never stop innovating.
Yeah.
You know, a mentor of mine, Keith Eichley, he has this amazing quote. He said, if you never want to stop innovating, because if you do, or if you never stop innovating to make yourself obsolete, someone else will.
Yeah.
And it's so true. If you don't keep trying new things and experimenting, someone else will find something that works better and blow you out of the water.
Yeah.
And so, and that's exciting for me, because the monotony, you know, sometimes work drives me nuts. Like, I constantly want to try new things and experiment, and marketing really kind of gives you that ability.
It's awesome.
to tweak and just keep finding things that work.
So when you're spending time 3.5 years ago, long decades ago, many
lives
moons ago,
yes.
many lives ago, when I was back in my day, we had to walk to school both ways
uphill
through snow.
In the snow.
That's the way it sounds. So what were the books you were reading? What were you studying? What were you trying? What were the websites you were going to? How were you devouring, digesting, and applying this information?
Well, so one of my favorite books is the E-Myth. The E-Myth is...
You love Gerber.
Oh, I love Gerber. Absolutely. I think his tools are and his practical application.
Why Gerber? I'm just curious. Like, I know Gerber very well, but why Gerber? What was it about it? Like,
well, so, you know, I had my own idea that I concocted in my mind of what an entrepreneur was and how they should operate.
Yeah.
And he really kind of opened up my view of what entrepreneurship is, what a successful entrepreneur is, and what it takes.
Did the book, The E-Myth Revisited, did, or was it actually time with him?
You know, E-Myth, his book, E-Myth Revisited.
And that's the boat telling us that you should buy the E-Myth and you should read it. Since you heard that horn, they're going, yes, we agree, you should buy the book, you should read it. Entrepreneur, technician, manager, what's the difference and where are you on the scale? So keep going.
Another book that really helped personally for me was Think and Grow Rich.
I love Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill, that and Outwitting the Devil.
Yes, Outwitting the Devil is another good one.
Those books is
Old
absolutely
school,
incredible.
Amazing books.
Because I thought it was a matter of what I do in my business and growing that.
So people always talk about Think and
personal.
Grow Rich.
Yeah.
This is one of the first people that actually ever mentioned Outwitting the Devil. Catch this. So what about Outwitting the Devil, which Think and Grow Rich is like the book. Okay, everyone reads it, everyone owns a copy. What about Outwitting the Devil did you get? Like, what was the nuggets or something out of curiosity? Like,
well, some of it was just how, you know, they talk about the devil, but for me, some of it was relating to that little voice in my head, you know, that kind of self-doubt that creeps in that stops anybody in their tracks. And I've done so many things wrong in my years and years of being in marketing.
3.5 years. We talked about this.
Yes. You know, there's so many mistakes that I made that really allowed me to stop and question myself. And like, am I really good enough to be doing this? Like, what do I know? There are so many people that do so much greater things, and it was all this negative self-thinking, and so outwitting the devil really highlighted that they're lies. You know, we constantly get in our own way and lie to ourselves, and how we can take that and actually allow it to move us forward in such a stronger, more confident way, and to be willing to take more risks and take more action. That really gets us to where we want to go, to ignoring all those negative thoughts, you know, really focus on the future and the positive.
So catch this, guys. Like, these books are what transform people. Like Outwitting the Devil, fantastic book. Think and Grow Rich, fantastic book. Like you can see even you talking about it, like your whole state changed. Like, and being live and watching this right now, like, these books have an impact. It's like, why you even watch this show? Because you're gonna take something from Ryan today, you're gonna digest inside of you. You're gonna be like, okay, these are some things I need to learn to get better at marketing. Like, and it doesn't matter if you're a school teacher trying to market to your kids. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur selling red bricks, or an entrepreneur selling class action administration, or supplements, or whatever you're doing. Like, these books create transformation, and one of the greatest transformations of all is this right here, our belief system, busting our BS stories, getting rid of the fear, getting rid of the stories that are holding our own selves back. The greatest thing that holds you back from success in your marketing is your own fear of like, oh, I can't do that, I'm not smart enough, the internet's too complex. You just got to go and just do it, and fail, and try, and fail. And so I love the fact you even brought this up. It's awesome, man. It really is. And so you're reading these books, you're studying these mentors. So how many hours a day, how many days a week are you doing it for what length of period, digesting and embracing and like sucking all this in to get to the point where you're actually finally getting real results, doing a great job, getting real clients, impacting clients, making real money for these people, and actually being legit in the market? Like, how much intensity was involved for you to get to this point? Like, what did that look like? If I had a video camera, it'll go rewind and then fast forward and start calculating out, like, time, energy, like, was it 7 days a week, 12-hour days, like 18-hour days some days, like, what did it look like? I mean, were you going to bars and drinking all weekend, or were you like tweaking ads and like?
So early on, I was just trying to download information. I was trying to absorb and find everything I could. So I mean, I signed up for programs. I went through all the different conferences and bought just a whole bunch of stuff just to try to absorb and learn and even just get some of the basic principles down, right? And then really starting to get into the nitty gritty. So early on, the education, ongoing education, was very, very high level.
Were you, how many hours a day? Was this 1 hour, 2, 5?
Oh no,
10,
I was doing about
18?
10 to 12 hours a day.
That's awesome.
Without a doubt, and my friends didn't see me very much early on. They're like, Ryan, it's been like 3 months. We haven't seen you. Like, what's going on in your life? And I'm like, I can't talk now, because I'm focused. I'm trying to get into this industry, but ultimately being able to help other people and help myself, right? And so early on, it was very, very heavy into it. And one of my mentors, Keith Eichley, was launching a new company. And so he actually, Ryan, can you come help us actually do some of the work and actually create all these landing pages and everything else? I was like, I am there.
I am ready. I am prepared. I have studied. I am prepared. My time has come.
My time has come. Absolutely. So I went to his house and I stayed with him for a month. Wow. And we worked about 18 hours a day for that solid month. Just cranking out all sorts of marketing material to launch his company.
That's awesome.
And it was the most incredible experience, right? Because I got to have hands-on experience and actually do all this stuff. And
most people just won't even do that. Like a lot of people are like, oh, but they should pay me a lot of money. They should do all this. I don't want to stay at anybody's house. Like,
I read a book. I can teach that.
Yeah, they're not willing to dive deep, man. And like, you've got to dive deep. Catch this, like you just got to dive deep. You got to go on, and if you're not even getting paid, get around the best of the best. Give them. There's a gentleman here earlier today that went and got coffee for us, and food and coffee cups. That guy's going to build a successful company. He's part of the Cal State Fullerton program. He came to serve here and just be a part of the group that we have today, just to be around it and to learn. I guarantee that guy's going to go big and be a freaking great leader because of it. So keep going.
Without a doubt. You know, it's at the end of the day, it's the action we take on the knowledge that we've got, that we have. And without action, it's just thoughts. It's just, you know, and it doesn't change anything. You have to take action on what you know.
That's awesome.
But like even today, like I'm still spending about 1 to 2 hours a day reading books. And I'll even like sometimes I'll just go on Google, you know, cutting edge marketing techniques just to see, is there anything new out there? Is anyone proposing a new idea? You know, that's
How many conferences? What conferences are you going to?
So I still go to about 2 or 3 conferences a year, and I'm wanting to increase it.
Which of those ones you're going to?
Habitude Warrior Conference.
Okay.
Power Team International does a lot of good things, you know, with Bill Walsh.
So you're working on yourself.
Oh yeah.
Like these are not marketing conferences. Like Habitude's all about developing you through Eric's stuff. Bill, same thing, is how to develop you, how to develop your business, like, you know,
And some of these conferences, you know, they have a lot of marketing aspects and sales. So I learn a little bit from there and just see what they're putting
people are doing.
See what they're see what they're talking about.
It.
And, so I get sometimes I get little nuggets.
It's not traffic and conversion, and it's not ClickFunnels.
No.
Like you want to go to marketing conference, you go to ClickFunnels, you go to traffic and conversion. Like those two are like the marketing conferences right now of like the best speakers, the best content. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy,
But I found that you know, there's a lot of marketing knowledge I have, but even sometimes I catch myself not applying all of it. And so there's still a lot of personal stuff I'm trying to develop, because I know if I can become a better version of myself, where I'm more confident, I can take more action, I can be more focused, then I'm going to get so much further than just I'm just going to get all the marketing knowledge I possibly can.
You have all the marketing knowledge.
It out.
Yeah, if you don't develop you're nothing. Like
exactly.
I mean, you're not going to be able to apply. You're not going to be the strength to be able to have the conversation, the right communication skills with your clients, to be able to pull things out of them, to be able to apply it. So, I think we need to wrap this up. I can sit here all day with you, actually. We're going to basically put your information below on the different places we're posting the show and everything, and explain and get links, and we'll have links to go to Ryan and contact Ryan and everything. But we're going to give all your information to people, and Emily will grab it, or Aaron or somebody, and we'll post it on here. But folks, if you get a chance, like, reach out. I'm sure you can pick his brain, as long as you're respectful for 10-15 minutes. Have a consultation with Ryan if you'd like, and like pick his brain. Any sales you get from this, I want a commission and some free help.
Without a doubt.
Actually, I want some free help on my own stuff to figure out how to. I work on my own stuff, and we can debate out Gary Halbert letters and talk about all this together. But folks, reach out, watch the show, hear what he's saying, and the question is, where are you developing your own self personally, plus your skill sets, and really your marketing skill sets from the day? Like, what marketing skill sets are you really learning and studying so you can market yourself better to the outside world? Because the one thing that's going to differentiate is how you market you, how you're marketing your business, how you're differentiating everything you're doing in your life compared to all these other people, so you do stand out if you are a quality person with a quality product. If you're selling crap and ripping people off, do not watch this. Do not apply this stuff. We have enough people out there selling crappy stuff, ripping people off. So thank you very much for being like truthful and honest and loving and sharing everything you've got.
Absolutely.
There's more. So thanks, folks, for watching the Fireside Chat. Appreciate it.